Hey, it is the start of the third week. As you can see over here to the side, I've already got on the list of what I'm doing today. The first thing is The Maid's Secret. I started it yesterday / last night, and I read quite a bit of it. I'm already probably 60% of the way through, and it's for Battle of the Bands. I also put Pet in my book, but I didn't start reading it yet. If you missed the last video, I substituted out down here. I added Pet for where Rian was. It's not going to count for a Battle of the Band, but it is an Aurelian book that I need to read. But that also meant that Witch Hat and River of Thieves are the last two of these books that I need to read. So I am on page 20. Today I'm going to try to get to page 80. I'm going to read 60 pages a day of this. I'm thinking that I could possibly read 20 pages of this and 40 pages, or 30 and 30, so I don't have as much River of Thieves to read, but I don't know. I'll see how it goes today. I've got a couple of things on my list today, and then I was going to start reading physically. I've been already reading The Maid's Secret this morning while I was having breakfast and all of that stuff. And so I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do about Pet. It's only 3 hours on audio. So part of me is like, do I just want to slip it in and start reading part of it today? I think I may end up doing that. And then I'll just finish it when I finish it. But for books today, I'm going to be starting A Sinister Revenge. That is the Veronica Speedwell book that I'm reading next. And so when I finish The Maid's Secret, I'll be starting A Sinister Revenge. The next 3 books are barely over 300 pages, and then I'm reading nothing but books that are less than 300 pages. So it's really nice to look at what's left in the month, and things are going to start going a lot faster. This week and next week should be the end. Like, I should have all the books finished by next Saturday when I close out the vlog. So this week I'm going to close the vlog on the 19th or the 20th, depending on what books I want to finish. And then I'll kick off that last vlog, and that's what we'll do. So the only question so far that I've gotten is somebody wanted me to go over the math stuff again and how I figure out the percentages and things like that. So I'm going to explain it here, but I'm also going to just do a little short video just explaining how I do the math. So there's a couple of different ways, and I'm going to assume that you know about percentages, like that it's also the same as a decimal place. So like 52% of something is the same as 52 over 100, and it's also the same as 0.52. So I'm going to assume that you guys know how percentages and decimals and fractions work. If not, I'm sorry. So I need to get something drawn up here so I can show you on the computer so that I'm not just talking to you about it and you can actually see things, and I'll show you some stuff. Okay, one of the most basic things is if you remember this, what percent of blank is blank, okay? And then I'm going to show you what you do is you take the of, and that becomes a multiplication, and you take the is, and it becomes an equal sign. So then if you know the percentage, the amount, or the total, you can solve this problem. So let's say that you have read, well, I'm going to take what I have done, 74 pages of a 336 page book. So you're saying what percent of 336 is 74? So when you write that in, what percent of 336, I think I said 76, is 74? Okay, that means what becomes your unknown variable. We're going to not call it an X because I have the X right there for that. So we're going to call it a P, okay, because it is a percentage. It doesn't matter. We're just calling it a P. So what percent of 336 is 74? So what you're doing is 336 times the percentage, which right now we don't know what that is. And so if you're solving a math problem, it would be 336p equals 74 if you're solving this algebraically, because when you multiply the two together, you can't, because you don't know what p is. So this is your problem. And then to solve for p, you're going to divide both sides by 336. So 74 divided by 336 will give you a number. It's going to be, let me do my math over here with an actual calculator, because we carry calculators around in our pockets now, so we don't have to do math. We don't have to do division like this. So 74 divided by 336 is 0.2202, okay? 0.2202. But we just learned that a percentage is a decimal point moved two places. So you're going to move the decimal two places and go, okay, 74 pages of 336 is 22%. Okay, that is the basic math, and you can use that for anything. I've been standing in a store before, and it said that this list is 15% off. And the total price was, let's say, $25, okay? So 15% of 25 is what? I did the same thing. Is goes there, and this is a of right here. So what you're going to do first is you're going to take the 15%, and because this is if you know the percentage, but you don't know one of these other numbers. So you're going to take the percentage, which you're going to turn it into a decimal. 0.15 times 25 will give you the new amount, what that is. So if you're doing it in in a grocery store, in a store where you're like buying clothes, that is 3.75. So you will be subtracting $3.75 from what's there. And what you can do, if you want to find out how much it cost, because then after you find out the percentage, 15%, you have to actually take off the $3.75. But if you know something is 15% off, you're paying 85% for it. So you can do what is 85% of 25, which is going to be exactly the same, 0.85 times 25, and you know that you're paying $21.25 for whatever it is that's 15% off. So that is how you do it. And then it just saves you a subtraction step, because it's usually easier to subtract the percentages, because that comes from 100. And that's usually easier in our brains than subtracting $3.75. So anyway, that is the basic. When you're trying to figure out percentages of anything all the time, that is how you do it. However, when you're talking about numbers and reading books, it's much easier to think of it like, if I've read 74 pages of 336 total, then you just divide. You divide what you've read on top by what you need to read on the bottom, and that will give you your percentage. It just saves you from having to do the actual equation. You just divide it. It's still the same thing. You still ended up dividing 74 by 336 on both pages. But when you're reading a book, you just know that it's 74 over 336. So the total number over what you've read so far, how much is that? Now, when we're talking about audiobooks, everything has to be multiplied and divided by 60, because it's going to tell you that something is 25% of something. But that doesn't mean that it's like 21 hours and 25 minutes. It means it's 21 hours and 25% of an hour, which is only 15 minutes, right? A quarter of an hour is 15 minutes. So that is going to be a little bit different, and you need to use 60s in there to figure all of that stuff out. So on another day, when I'm doing this, but on another day, we'll do audiobooks. But that's how you figure out percentages for what page you're on. And also maybe if you're shopping in a store and something's on sale, that's how you figure it out. Okay, I'm going to get to work. I hope that was not super boring, but I'm going to get to work, and I will check back in with y'all probably tonight and see how things have gone. I'm working at home, and then I'm working at the library today. I'm actually at the library every day this week, so it's going to be a long week. Hello, happy Monday. As you guys know, Monday is one of my favorite days of the week, and I have finished everything. It's 10 o'clock at night. I actually finished my audio stuff earlier, and I've already read more, because I'm reading A Sinister Revenge, which is the next Veronica Speedwell, and I love it so much. I have already laughed out loud a couple of times. It's the best. Anyway, so I finished The Maid's Secret. That was so good. And you know what, though? I think I gave it a 4, but I think I'm rounding up to a 4. Like, I think I want to be around a 3.75. And the problem is we spent so much time in the past in this one that I really liked the Molly parts, but there weren't enough Molly parts, and I wanted more of them. So I did already enter it. It was a Battle of the Bands book. I need to mark it off that I put my rating on here, and I did my other stuff, but I didn't actually mark it off. So that means that I got that one done. And today I started A Sinister Revenge. It's 310 pages, and I'm 18% of the way through. So I thought that I would let y'all know how I would figure out that math, how I would figure out how many pages 18% is of 310. So you go back to the math problem that I wrote earlier right here, and I want to know what is 18% of 336, right? So I'm writing it backwards, not 336, 310. So what it'll be my X is equals 18% of, we already said of means times 310. So that is what it's going to end up looking like. And you literally just do 0.18 times 310, and that will tell me how many pages. So I need my actual calculator. Okay, 0.18 times 310. Whoops. That means I'm on page 56, and I'm supposed to be on 65. No, on 64. So I do have more reading to go, and I want to figure out the percent that I need to stop at. So I'm going to do 64 because that's where I want to be of 310 means I need to get to 21% in the book. So I do still need to read some more of the audiobook, which I will do tonight. And then tomorrow, let's see, if I'm on page 64 out of 310 pages, I'm going to have to read 246 pages in this book and then 54 pages in Meet Your Baker. So that's going to be the next book, and 54 pages in Meet Your Baker is going to be 17.5%. So that's where I need to stop tomorrow. Okay. None of that matters because it matters, but that's all like normal stuff that I was going to do anyway. Here is where things get a little bit weird. Okay, I went and looked at my Kindle today, and I looked up River of Thieves, and I don't own River of Thieves. And I was like, well, that's weird. Okay, what's going on? And so I go look at it on Amazon, and I'm like, why did I pick this book? Well, I picked it. I'm sorry. I have something in my eye. Just a minute. Okay, sorry if my eye is red. Anyway, I picked it because in Eldia, Emmeline needed a book that had River in the title. And so I looked at Goodreads, and this book had River in the title, and I picked it. Well, I was like, that's a dumb reason for me to be reading this book. And the other reason I had added it to my list because it was, to my Her Kid list, because it was one of the 5 lowest rated books. Well, I was like, I don't want to have to buy this book and try to read it. So I went and looked on Storygraph for a book that had River in the title, and I actually found Revenge River, which is the 4th book in a series that I have been reading, and it's actually the one that I'm on right now, but for some reason it's written by Lindsay Cross, and let me just show it to you. Here it is right here. I'll just make it bigger. Revenge River by Lindsay Cross. And the problem that I have right now is that this is the 4th book. The first 3 books I listened to on audio. They're narrated by one of my favorite audio narrators, which is probably how I stumbled upon these books. Anyway, I went to find this one on audio, and it does not exist. So I was like, okay, that's fine. River of Thieves was a Kindle book. Let me find Revenge River on the Kindle. It is a Kindle Unlimited book. So I was like, okay, great. That's what I'm going to do. So I changed down here. Now it says Revenge River, 297 pages, which is smaller than River of Thieves, and a 4.5 rating, which is much higher than River of Thieves. So I am reading Revenge River, and I'm on page 65. I'm right around page 62, actually, but I'm going to read a little bit more on my Kindle when I go upstairs. So it sounds like I got to do quite a bit of finishing things when I go upstairs. But because it's 297 pages, I'm not going to finish it tomorrow. So for the river book, I'm going to get to page 130. That's 65 and 65 is 130. So that's what I'm going to shoot for tomorrow. I didn't need to read any of Witch Hat because it was easy for me to read those 60 pages of Revenge River. I really liked it. So I'm going to read Baker, and I said I needed to read 17.5% is where I want to be tomorrow on Meet Your Baker. So 20% of A Sinister Revenge is where I need to be tonight. That's what I've been listening to. There's the cover. Nope, it's too bright for you to see it, but there it is. I'm 18% of the way through. So I'll be done. I'll get caught up to 20% in no time. And then I'm going to read some of Revenge River physically. And then tomorrow I will start Meet Your Baker, and I will finish A Sinister Revenge. So I need to look and see what A Sinister Revenge is for. Also, I finished Molly the Maid, and I did enter it, as I've already said, on other things. I just haven't entered it. I need to copy this over to here so that I know how big my books need to be. And A Sinister Revenge takes place in England, so I'm going to write that here. All right, and then there it is. So I'm going to leave it big like that just so that I know the size I want it to be over here. So Witch Hat, I'm leaving it there since I did start it at this point. And then when I finish it, I'll just make it large. It'll be fine because I'll know over here when I have it in there. Okay, so let's see over here. A Sinister Revenge is Battle of the Bands. And is it Aeldia? No, it is not. I am also, Meet Your Baker is, that's what I'm reading next. I'm also going to be reading Pet tomorrow because tomorrow I have to work. I have Bible study at 8 o'clock in the morning from 8 to 10. Then I work from 10 to 2. And then I have nothing until date night with Ron at 5. So I have from 2 to 5 that I have nothing going on. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stay at the library and work on the puzzle that they have over there while I listen to my audiobook. And then I don't think tomorrow is Quiet Book Club, but it might be. Let me look. Okay, I think it might be Quiet Book Club tomorrow, which is fine. Maybe I'll make it. Maybe I won't make it. Maybe I'll tell her to count my time in the library earlier in the day as showing up for quiet time reading. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to be starting Meet Your Baker tomorrow. So I'm going to add that on here. And then I have a whole list of books back here at the back that need to be printed because I still don't have them printed out. So I am going to make a copy and then put Revenge River right there so that I can get it and add it to my book. But these are, I'm blocking the whole thing so you couldn't see it anyway, but that's all right. I need it to be printed, so I'm putting it right there. Okay, and then I will put Meet Your Baker right there, and I am all good to go. So hopefully tomorrow will be an easy day because like I said, I'm just working at the library. I don't have anything after that, so I really want to read Pet, and then I'm going to finish Battle of the Bands. Oh, let me look at Pet really quickly. I only have Aurelium Academy for it. And that's it. Okay. So, and it's only going to take me 3 hours to read it. So that's really good. Things are working well so far. I finished. Okay, I already filled out all the stuff I finished for Molly. So Sinister Revenge is the next one up that I'm going to finish. And when I finish A Sinister Revenge, let me get little so you can see. When I finish A Sinister Revenge, I will have read 3 books from every team at that point, which I did not do on purpose, but I think it'll be great how that's going to work out like that. So that is going to do it. I will check in with you tomorrow. I hope y'all had a great Monday, even though you're not going to see this until way after Monday. But if y'all remember what you were doing on Monday, the 14th of April, I hope that you had a good day, because I had a great day today. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, well, I think for the first time this month, I forgot to check in last night before I went to bed. It is now Wednesday morning, and let me get my thing pulled up over here. I did not even update this, but I did my stuff. I am on page 130 in Revenge River. I actually read it the night before on Monday night. I don't know. I can't keep things straight. Oh my gosh, Django. Django just came running in from outside and dove onto my back. Good morning, baby. Did you have fun running around outside? It's warmer today. I mean, it's not. No, get off the table. It's not warm, but it's warmer. And so he stayed outside a little bit longer. Okay, so I finished A Sinister Revenge and I started Baker, but I definitely did not get to 17.5%. I only got, it's on Audible, and Audible doesn't tell you your percent. Why? Why does it not? It has the little line at the bottom. Couldn't they just attach a percentage to that? Because it's annoying. But it looks like, based on this, that I'm maybe 10% of the way through, but it doesn't matter how far I got in Baker because I have to finish it today. So let me mark off A Sinister Revenge. Yesterday was a day. I'm going to tell you. I woke up at 5 in the morning. I couldn't go back to sleep. I just spent most of the day trying not to have a panic attack. It was not fun. So anyway, today, because I'm supposed to read 300 pages a day, and the next 3 books are right at 300, 307, 305, and 303, I think that means the next 3 days I'm reading 1 book a day. So Meet Your Baker today, I Am Half Sick of Shadows tomorrow, and The Wreck the next day. So that's what I'm going to do. Today, I'm going to finish Meet Your Baker. And then for Revenge River, 60 pages, I should be around page 190. I'm going to say 195. Then for Revenge River, it has 297. The next one is I Am Half Sick of Shadows. So I'm going to put Shadows on here, and I'll finish that one on Thursday. And then I'll finish The Wreck on Friday. So those are my next set of those. And I'm not going to fill in the river until I see how much I read today, because I might have time to read a little bit more. But look at how all of these colors are going away. Like, I have a lot less left to read, and they're all the short ones. Like, when I finish these 3 books the rest of this week, everything else is under 300 pages. But that does mean, for those of you who are excited about The Eyes Are the Best Part, I start that on Saturday, the 19th. But that's it. That's my check-in for today. No, let me tell y'all about A Sinister Revenge. Is Veronica and Stoker again, and it's just the cutest. Like I just really like them, and it was really nice to be back with them hanging out. This time we were kind of solving an old crime, because Stoker's brother received I guess kind of a threatening letter that said, "I'm avenging this person and now you're next." And it's because when he was younger, he was hanging out with some of his friends, and one of them died. And they decided it was murder. Well, this person who was avenging them decided it was murder, and that nobody took care of it. Nobody found the murderer. And so they were seeking revenge. That's why it's called A Sinister Revenge. And so we're following them as they're trying to solve that old murder and find out who is, well, they don't know if it's a murderer, and then find out who is the person that is seeking revenge. So that's what A A Sinister Revenge was, and really good. And also, I'm really liking The Revenge River. I mean, it's just your standard military special ops romance, but I forgot about the like larger plot that's happening in the background of these books until I started reading this one. And then I was like, oh yeah. So we have two POVs for this. They're the main characters. It's a male and a female. So we have the main male character and the main female character. So, but the two of them, we're kind of going back and forth, but she was raised by this guy who said he was her father and said that she had a twin sister who was kidnapped as a baby by another person. Well, that person raised the other girl as his child, and he says that the other guy kidnapped his daughter. Well, he thinks that his wife and the other twin are dead. I don't know. There's so many little things happening. And I'm like, which one is right? And also, our main character is going to be devastated if she finds out that the father that she thinks is her father is actually not her father. But she's pretending to be her twin sister right now. And nobody even knows that she has a twin or that her twin is alive if she does. So nobody is suspecting it. And, I just think it's weird, number one, based on everything that I have seen where identical twins try to switch places, like on TikTok and stuff. They're like, I'm going to switch places on my kids. And then they walk in and, I mean, I saw like a little 2-year-old and she looked up and she said, where is my mom? She said, oh, you came. And she was like, what do you mean? And she said, where's my mama? Like, she knew immediately. They were dressed as, I couldn't tell them apart. But the little girl knew immediately that that was not her mom. So I'm wondering how this man who loves his daughter, I mean, he does. I don't know why I did air quotes, but he can't tell that that's not his daughter. That's what I don't understand. I mean, maybe because he thinks there's not anybody else who it could be. Like, he doesn't think that he has another child that is an adult. He thinks that the twin died when they were born. So maybe he's not even thinking it's a possibility, but I'm just like, wouldn't you be like, there's some little differences about my daughter all of a sudden? Like, I just feel like you would know. But anyway, my cousin has identical twin boys, and they know, they can tell them apart easily, but they're like mono, super identical or something. So anyway, that's just a weird twin discussion that I think about sometimes when I'm reading this book. I'm like, how do they not know that that's not her? But anyway, that's it. I will check back in with y'all tonight. Hopefully, I got a lot more sleep last night. So hopefully, this will be a better day than yesterday was. I just cannot function if I don't have sleep. I can't do anything. Like, I was trying to read Revenge River down here last night while I was just digging on Minecraft. I have to dig out this big area so I can make a sign. And so I was digging it out and I kept going. While I was sitting in this chair, I was falling asleep. I was like, what in the world? I can't do anything without having sleep. So, yeah, that's it. I'm going to go get my breakfast, feed the dogs, and then I'm going to work, and I'll be back to read after that. Okay, it is Wednesday night, and I have about an hour left in Meet Your Baker, and I have about 15 or 20 pages left in Revenge River. But I'm checking in right now because it's 10 p.m. and I'm about to go upstairs and lay in the bed and finish reading everything. So, Revenge River is so easy to read. I forgot how much these romantic suspense books just flow pretty quickly or pretty easily. So that's nice. I'm going to finish those pages. I'll probably read a little bit more tonight just because I have to work tomorrow and I don't know how much time I'm going to have to read tomorrow. So I will be working on that. And I'm going to finish Baker and I will start the next Flavia Deluce. I am half sick of shadows, 305 pages. I'll be reading that all day tomorrow. So if I finish Meet Your Baker before I go to bed, which I will, but if there's time before I fall asleep, I will read I'm half sick of shadows. So that's what's happening tonight and tomorrow. And then I will check in with y'all tomorrow night. Tomorrow is a normal day. In the morning, I have YouTube work, and in the afternoon, I have library work, and that's it. So there should be some time in there where I can read, hopefully. I'm going to prioritize reading Revenge River on my Kindle because that usually takes me the longest. So I'm going to prioritize doing that, and then I will finish the shadow book. And tomorrow I will enter Meet Your Baker is for Aurelium Academy and Battle of the Bands. So when I finish that, I'll finish it tonight, and tomorrow I will enter all that in. And then tomorrow is Thursday, and I'm going to start. It's a red book this time. I am half sick of shadows. So that I'm going to start tomorrow. So I will put it in here, and then I need to look and see on my Canva board. It's going to tell me what I'm counting it for. So let me stick it in here. Oh, I forgot. I'm going to the gym in the morning in addition to the other stuff. And I think I have some client work that I have to do tomorrow, but let me check. Okay, right here, it is an Aurelium book. And is it a Battle of the Bands book? Yep, I see it right there. Okay, cool. So both places. Meet Your Baker is Attack on Jake, and then I Am Half Sick of Shadows is an Attack on Jake. So I'm going to finish up Jake's stuff tomorrow. Okay, so that's all. It takes place in Oregon, so I'll mark that on there. Oh, maybe I was covering up some stuff. I'm sorry. I didn't realize how big my thing was over there. But okay, that is everything. And I am going to bed. So I will check in with y'all on Thursday. I cannot believe tomorrow's Thursday already, and that we are now officially over halfway done with April. I'm excited, though, about the second half of the month. So I will see y'all tomorrow. Okay, it is 9:30 at night, and I just finished I Am Half Sick of Shadows, and I haven't gotten to page 250 yet in Revenge River, where I'm supposed to be today. I'm actually on page like 220 or something, but I think I'm going to be done with it today and call today finished. My plan is by Saturday, I want to be done with Revenge River. So I'll read some of it tomorrow and then finish it up. It's only 297 pages. And I'm on page 220 or something like that. So I only have like 70 something pages. So if I can finish those in the next 2 days, I'm going to have a whole week to read Witch Hat. And that's the last book that I have to read physically this month because of some of the switching around that I did. So that all is done, and that's what it's going to look like. So I'm going to count today, as being done. And then tomorrow, I'm reading The Wreck. I'm reading the whole thing, and however much I get done in Revenge River. And then the next day, I'm reading The Eyes Are the Best Part and the beginning of At Your Service. Only about 20 pages of At Your Service, but that's what I'm going to be doing on Saturday. So I'll fill that in tomorrow when I check in, and then I should be able to report into y'all about At Your Service on Sunday when I end it. Or maybe I'll just end it with The Eyes Are the Best Part, and I'll start At Your Service and Barracoon, and we'll finish this up. Well, I don't know where that came from, but we'll finish this up next week. At least all of these for the readathon will easily be finished next week. And then I'll move into the second set of books down here at the bottom. So Pet, I think I'm starting Pet today, like just listening to a little bit of it tonight while I'm getting ready for bed and stuff. It's only 6 hours on audio. So we'll see how it goes. The Wreck, I'm putting the Wreck sticker in here right now on Friday, and then let me look and see what it is for. First of all, let me get it over here. We'll just leave it there, kind of small. I don't know where it's set yet or anything. And then I've got Revenge River over here, and this one, that means I need to bring Pet over here as well. Where is Pet? All right, I'm just going to put it here. Actually, I'll probably move the Wreck down because I'm going to definitely start Pet before I start the Wreck. Not that any of that matters. Like, it doesn't matter when I start something, but I just like to keep them as straight as possible in my brain. Okay, so over here, the Wreck. Oh, no, the Wreck is not on anything. Pet is, but I've already marked it on Aurelium. So the rec is not on Aurelium. The rec is right here. Okay. So it's on Battle of the Bands, and Pet is not on Battle of the Bands. So, but I Am Half Sick of Shadows is my last attack on Jake. So I'm going to enter I Am Half Sick of Shadows in Aurelium and Battle of the Bands, and I'll be done with that one. And I will start my attack on Team Nala, the rec, tomorrow. So that sounds great. I'm excited about how everything looks and how it's all going right now. After I finish the Twits, which is 96 pages, then my page count comes back up. And these last 6 books, I guess, that I'm reading, they go back up to 396 pages and 359. So they'll take a little bit longer, but they still should get done based on the 300 pages a day thing. So I'm not worried about it. I still think we're okay, but probably the middle of next week or maybe the beginning of the next vlog that I'm going to start, I will do the math on everything and just make sure that 300 pages a day is still good for us. But I will read the rec tomorrow, and then we'll look at what Saturday is and what's going to happen on Saturday. So that's it for right now. I'm half sick of shadows. So good. It was Christmas time at Flavia's house, and they had a traveling troupe. No, that's not what they were. They had a movie that was going to be filmed at their house. And so the actors and actresses and the producers and like the whole group of people moved in. And then they decided to, in addition to that, do a little fundraiser type thing for the church. And so a bunch of people from town came out to watch the performance, and they all got snowed in out there. So it was a wild Christmas for Flavia and all the people. And this one almost exclusively took place at their house, which usually doesn't happen. Usually Flavia is all over town and all over the area surrounding her house. But this time, practically the whole thing took place at her house. Anyway, it was so good, so cute. I'm still loving the series. This was book number 4. I've already read book 3 during this month readathon. And I think later in Q2, I'm going to be reading book 5. So it's really good and really cute. And I am happy that I get to read it. So thanks for whoever suggested it. I know it was one of you guys, and I'm so thankful for it. It's really good. All right. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Okay. It is Friday night, almost 11 p.m. I am very tired. I just finished the rec. I'm not sure. I think I have the other books in the series, so I might have to keep going, but I didn't love this. This was like an adventure story where a gold coin came up on the lake or out of the lake, and this guy found it, and he went to somebody else to tell him what it was, and they found that maybe it was part of a buried treasure. And so this whole series is kind of like buried treasure in the Great Lakes and set in the US. And so I just didn't really care. Like there wasn't anything to make me want to keep going. Now, Revenge River I finished today because I started reading it and I didn't want to stop. And I was like, I'm finishing it today. So originally I had said that I just needed to finish it by tomorrow. Well, I'm not doing that. Also tomorrow I've decided that I'm going to start The Eyes Are the Best Part, but I'm definitely not going to get to page 300. I'm going to put that in here. Oh, that's not even 300 pages in the book. How many is it? 278. So technically I'm supposed to finish The Eyes Are the Best Part, but I might start it tomorrow. I just don't think that's the kind of book that I'm wanting to read. And the next one is, okay, I finished the rec. Let me fix this. Okay. And I finished, where is it? Revenge River. Okay, so I need to enter both of those, but I think I'm going to read Pet, and I might go ahead and start At Your Service tomorrow, and then I will read The Eyes Are the Best Part, or maybe I'll do half and half, like 150 of The Eyes Are the Best Part, and then 150 of At Your Service. But anyway, Since I'm not going to finish any books tomorrow, I also am going to read a little bit more of Witch Hat. But since I'm not going to finish any books tomorrow, I'm going to go ahead and end the vlog here tonight. And then tomorrow I'm going to do math and figure out how many books I have to read for the last 10, 11 days of the month. And I will do all of that. So that'll be the beginning of the next vlog. And then I'll also talk about The Eyes Are the Best Part and At Your Service and all the rest of the stuff I'm reading. For Witch Hat, I'm on page 20, I'm pretty sure. So I'm only going to read to page 50 tomorrow. And my plan is going to be to read like 25 pages a day, because there's only 200 pages in the book and it's the last thing I have to read physically for the month. So I'm very proud of how things have gone with ebooks and physical books this month. I think that being very specific about them has really helped me, even though it's also hindered me, because I don't love that I have to read every day this certain amount of books, but it's the only way that I could guarantee that I got everything done in a way that did not feel like all I was doing was reading. And it still kind of feels like all I'm doing is reading. So I don't really know what I'm going to do moving forward, but I know I'm not doing this anytime soon, any kind of thing like this again. But that's everything. I'm going to go enter those 2 books that I have finished over on Battle of the Bands or Aurelium, whatever they count for. And then tomorrow I'm going to start The Eyes Are the Best Part and probably At Your Service at the same time. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.